Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of your IGCSE Tutors. Today I will be discussing this Cambridge IGCSE Economics Paper 2 Section B. Question 2. Define secondary sector using an example apart from construction. So you define secondary sector as firms that changes raw materials into products. An example is manufacturing goods like sports shoe. You can give any example. Question 2b. Explain two key resource allocation decisions. There are in total 3 allocation decisions, so you can just pick 2 to write, but I'll show you these 3. First, what to produce. Deciding which goods and services should be produced in the economy, such as more capital goods or consumer goods. Or you can give any example like to produce more healthcare or education. Second, how to produce. Deciding the methods used to produce goods and services, such as using labor or machines. Third, for whom to produce. Which economic agents should consume the goods and services, such as it is for everyone or some target markets. Economic agents basically just mean people in the economy. 2C. Analyze why workers may want to migrate to another area. First, it can due to high salary. So there are more job opportunities. So workers can receive higher salary, which allows them to have more money to spend on goods and services. So this increases their standard of living. Second, better healthcare. So workers can receive better medical treatment when they fall sick. This allows them to be more fit to work and increase productivity. Third, lower income tax rate. So this results in workers have more disposable income. Disposable income is the income after deducting tax. Firstly, they can spend on goods and services of higher quality, like better healthcare and education, to increase standard of living. Secondly, they can increase savings in the bank and earn an interest rate, which can be used when they're retired or in an emergency situation. So there are more answers to it. So these are the 3 that I can show you. If you have other answer, you can write too. 3D. Discuss whether or not a government should introduce a maximum price on housing. So first, you need to define what is maximum price. So it is here. It's a price set below market price by the government to encourage consumption. Okay. So usually maximum price is set because the current price is maybe too high. The market price maybe is too high, so less people are able to afford. So they want to increase the consumption. So they impose a maximum price. So let's see. If we say yes, there are 2 reasons. First, it can increase affordability of houses. Maximum price will reduce the housing price, allows lower and middle income group to buy a house. So this can reduce relative poverty and increase the standard of living. Second, control cost push inflation. So remember, there are 2 types of inflation. One is demand pull and one is cost push. Okay, so setting a maximum price will prevent firms from increasing housing price due to the increase in cost of production, like labor costs and material costs. So this can control cost push inflation. Okay, so in order to make your answer to stand out, you need to be specific. So here, instead of just saying inflation, we emphasize cost push inflation. So why we shouldn't introduce a maximum price? So first, excess demand and black market creation. So when the price is below market price, the demand of housing will increase more than supply. So this results in shortage. People who still want to buy houses will seek alternative. So maybe they'll buy from firms in black market. Black market basically means illegal market, so which often being sold at even higher price. So in black market, there's no government supervision, so this will result in loss of tax revenue for government. Second, this will reduce firms' profits and potentially reduce the product quality. So lower price will reduce the profits of firms. So this reduces the incentive of firms to produce housing and increase investment. And firms may use cheaper materials quality to produce to keep the cost low, and this will result a poorer quality of housing. Okay. So basically, the impose of maximum price is more beneficial for consumers, but less beneficial, or you can say harmful to firms. Alright, just keep this in mind and you can develop your points. Moving on, 3A. Identify two pairs of products not in the gaming industry which are substitutes. So substitutes basically mean that products that can be used instead of each other. For example, you can give coffee and tea, or spectacles and contact lens. Okay, just give two examples. Just give one example. B. Explain two reasons why a firm's revenue may increase. First, the goods produced have price inelastic demand. So remember, what is price inelastic demand? So this basically means that the quantity demanded is less responsive to the changes in price. So when this is the situation, firm can increase the price of the goods and revenue will increase. Why? Because a slightly increase in price, consumers will still buy because maybe they need a product, as the product is a necessity. Okay, and second, the price of substitutes increases, which causes the demand of substitutes reduces as consumers switch to the firm's product. So this increases demand and revenue for the firm. 3C. Analyze two economic consequences of having a large proportion of the population aged under 16. Okay, so before doing this question, let's think, what's the first thought when you think about under 16? So they're not working, they are currently studying, right? So first, smaller workforce. More population under age 16 means the size of labor force is smaller. This reduces the GDP and economic growth as fewer goods and services are produced. And you can further analyze. This will cause lower tax revenue earned by government, so this results in less money to fund for essential welfare services such as education and healthcare. So some people can't afford, and this increase relative poverty. Or you can specify lower income group can't afford it. Second, future economic growth has the potential. So after receiving education, youth reach adulthood and enter labor force. This increases the working population and more outputs being produced, so stimulates economic growth. If there are many skilled labor, this increases possibility of innovation. For example, they will develop higher quality goods that are highly demanded, or maybe skilled labor they have higher productivity. So this can increase exports and their international competitiveness. Also stimulate economic growth. Okay, D. Discuss whether or not it would benefit the economy if a government imposed regulations on video game use by young people. First, yes, it can reduce the consumption of demerit goods. So, video game we can consider as demerit goods. So this can reduce the screen time of youth playing violent video game and prevent negative influences. Hence, this can reduce the external costs such as crime rate. So remember, external cost is the cost to a third party when consuming a good. And second, it can improve health. So playing video games can be addictive, so young people may play it all the day, reducing the time to exercise. So regulating usage can encourage young people to exercise, which improve health and life expectancy. And why we shouldn't impose the regulation on video games. So first, this will increase the unemployment in gaming industry. This is especially true because this will reduce the demand for video games, causing structural unemployment in gaming industry. So you need to specify what kind of unemployment. In this case, it's structural unemployment, which is caused by a reduce in the demand of a product in the industry, in a particular industry. Okay, so people who are unemployed will rely on unemployment benefits. So government needs to increase tax revenue, which adds burden on taxpayers. Second, this will incur opportunity costs. So to allocate more resources for gaming, government needs to divert funds from other sectors like healthcare. So more people can't afford and access to healthcare, causing reduce in life expectancy and standard of living. 4A. Define a trade in goods deficit. So this means that the import expenditure of goods is more than the export revenue of goods. So it means that the government import more than the export. Okay, but it's not enough that you say import is more than export. You need to specify that it is the expenditure, import expenditure and export revenue. This will gain you 2 marks. 4B. Explain 2 ways firms can be classified. First, it can be classified by sector, such as it is private sector or public sector. Second, firms can be classified by level of competitions, such as monopoly or competitive firm. Okay, there's more answer. For example, it can also be classified by stages. For example, primary, secondary, or tertiary sector. C. Analyze why a government may protect its country's industries from foreign competition. First, they want to protect the infant industry. So explain what is infant industry. Government helps firms that are newly established and may have high potential for growth in the future so that it can expand quickly. This increases GDP and economic growth. And give an example. Giving subsidy to firms, this lowers the cost of production so then they can export at a lower price. Okay, so this places them in an advantage to become internationally competitive. Second, it can improve the balance of payment. So government needs to strengthen the local firms so they can produce higher quality goods and local consumers will prefer to buy from them, which reduce import. And if the good produced by local firms are highly demanded, they can also export it. So this stimulates economic growth. So when you say improve balance of payment, try to describe the both aspects, which is reduce import and increase export. So this will be a more complete answer. And point 3, can protect sunset industry. Okay, I need to explain what is sunset industry. So basically, if demand of products of an industry has been declining, this will result in severe structural unemployment. So government can help it to decline gradually, and while providing retraining schemes for workers to transition to other industry. 4D. Discuss whether or not a government should increase its spending on healthcare. Yes. First point, this can increase the consumption of merit goods. Healthcare is a merit good, which is often under-consumed and underproduced. So government increase spending on healthcare can make it more affordable to lower income group. This increases the consumption of healthcare, so life expectancy and HDI increases. So right until here, actually you can stop already, but if you want to further explain also can. So although this may increase government spending in the short run, this can reduce spending on healthcare in the long run as most of the population becomes healthier. Second, this can increase workers' productivity. When workers can access to healthcare, this prevents spread of illnesses and allow them to be more fit to work. So this increases the labor productivity, increase outputs produced and stimulates economic growth. And why a government should not increase spending on healthcare? First, due to higher taxes. As you know, when the government increase spending on healthcare, this requires higher tax revenue. So where does the tax revenue come from? Taxpayer. So this increases the burden on taxpayer and reduces the income of taxpayer, and the consumption reduces because they have less money to spend on goods and services. So this reduces standard of living and total demand in the economy and potentially lower the economic growth. Second, demand pull inflation in healthcare industry. So when healthcare becomes cheaper, demand for healthcare increases significantly. So this will cause shortage, and when healthcare is facing shortage, the firms will raise price. So this leads to demand pull inflation. 5A. Identify two benefits of a horizontal merger. So horizontal merger basically means that the firms that are in the same industry and the same economic sector merges. For example, a shoe factory merges with another shoe factory, and in this case is the vaccine producer merges with another firm which is also vaccine producer. But so you need to know of course the answer won't tell you what's the firm, so you need to know it's actually vaccine producer. Okay, so first 5A, identify two benefits of a horizontal merger. First, higher economies of scale, because when the two firms merges, they'll produce more output. So when you produce more output, your average cost of production will reduce. And second, higher profit, because both of the company profits, they will be combined together, resulting in a higher profit. 5B. Explain two possible external benefits of vaccines. So external benefits is the benefit to the third party, who is not involved in the consumption of the good. So they just get the benefit. First, disease prevention. So this can improve overall health of population and prevents the decrease of labor productivity due to illness. Second, this can reduce the long-term spending on healthcare. When population becomes healthier, government can reduce funding for healthcare in the future and allocate the resources to other essential industries such as education. So in this vaccines, you can know that the third party is the other people, the rest of the population, and government. C. Analyze potential reasons why a merged firm may fail. First, due to economies of scale. As the firm gets bigger, the average fixed cost becomes higher. For example, the firms need to buy additional factories and employ more workers because they need to produce more outputs. However, even though a firm you increase the output, there's no guarantee that your revenue will increase significantly. So if the revenue cannot keep up, the high average fixed cost will reduce the profit of firms. And second, due to the poor communication between departments. When a firm is too big, the internal communication will become slow and ineffective. And all the decisions must seek approval from management, so going through many processes will lower the firm's productivity. Third, it can be due to different management styles and culture. So both companies, you should use the word firms, okay? Both firms may not be able to cooperate well. And you can give an example. A firm's worker may just follow the instruction of manager, while another firm's worker is already used to doing work in their own way. So this will result in disagreement and lower productivity. Fifthly, discuss whether or not investment is beneficial to an economy. Yes, first, it can create job opportunities. When investment increases, firms, they expand. They need to hire more workers. This creates more job opportunities. And when more workers gain income, this can increase the national income, and more people afford to buy goods and services. This can increase consumption and economic growth. Second, this can increase the quality of goods and services. So, part of the investment, firm they may do the R&D, research and development, to improve the quality of products. So consumers can benefit from higher quality goods to increase their standard of living. And second, it can increase the demand for exports, as also foreign consumers also want to buy. So this supports economic growth. And why investment is not beneficial to an economy? First, this will increase cost push inflation. So higher investment will raise costs such as labor or machinery costs, which increases the cost of production. So in order to maintain a certain profits, firms will increase the price, leading to cost push inflation. So they basically the firm makes the consumer to pay a higher price. Second, foreign direct investment, FDI, harms the local industry. If most of the investment are FDI, the country's economy will be highly relying on it and become unstable when FDI pulls out from the country. Yes, so this is very risky to the country. For example, if all the projects and investment of the country is funded by foreign countries' investor, this will be detrimental when the FDI pulls out, which means they withdraw their investment. This means that this country has no extra capital at all to sustain its local industries. Okay, and second, FDI often has more advanced skills and technology bring into the country, which may outcompete the local small firms, because small firms, they have lower economies of scale. So they, in the long run, their average cost of production is higher, profit is lower, then of course they can't compete with FDI. So of course they can't compete with big firm. So this results in closure of small firms. Alright, so here's the end of our episode. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please comment below and I'll answer it as soon as possible. Bye!